Now I will be talking about the chapter 3, Cfa-Imc 2013, legal concepts. Cover the legal concepts that underlie many of the activities of an investment professional. Legal person has rights, protection, privileges, responsibility, and liability under the law as a natural person. Example of legal person include a power of attorney, property and affair, personal affair. A power of attorney is a legal document where a person gives another the power to make decision on his or her behalf in regard to his or her financial affair or personal affair. It's extended to the mental capacity. A basic law of contract. It's an agreement between two or more parties. There are two elements that must exist: offer and acceptance to be legally bind. Consideration. It must have consideration between both parts, as the willingness. One person provides a service and the other one pays in return, otherwise it must be enforceable by law. The terms and conditions must be in right, because if any disagreement in the contract might be brought to the law court, the judge will base himself on the written contract or evidence. The contract must be fully laid out with all terms and conditions in order to take its aim. If no writing or statement in each case ends up in the court, all the evidence will be the base to the judge take decision. The contract can be discharged by performance when both parts have their aims accomplished, also by breach when one of the parts don't perform what is in the terms and conditions. In this case, the law can be brought to judge the contract. We have also bifurcation. If the terms and conditions in the contract, in the event made impossible to both parts or one of the parts fulfill the obligation of the contract, that is frustration. Must have a common sense in the agreement between two parts to see how discharge the contract. Otherwise, the court of law will decide. Ownership of property. There are two types of property ownership under the English law. Legal ownership and beneficial ownership. Legal ownership, the property is in name on the document as a proprietary. The beneficial ownership, when the person has the right to use it but does not possess the right to sell it, or might have right in case when the property is sold, may have a part or indemnification or according to the law. We have two cases toward the companies, which is insolvency and the bankruptcy. Insolvency is generally when the company can no longer pay its debt because its debts exceeded its asset and cash flow. In this case, the company must make an adjustment in order to avoid bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is when the official receiver takes over the financial affair of the company and sell the asset to pay its debt. Firstly, they try to sell the assets that have the higher value so they can pay off the debts as much as they can, as much as possible. The person's creditor can petition the court against the debtor for owes at least £750 in 2013. You also have a will and intestacy. A will is a written document that sets out how a deceased person's estate is to be distributed. The person who dies without having a written will, the estate must be distributed to the law of intestacy, which is set out a statutory set of rules that leave the person's estate to the next of kin in a fixed order.